afternoon, welcome to the Pundits on Flip TV. I'm Christian Chukona. Have me, Mr. Israel Aristotle, as we look at topical issues that concern Nigerians. As of today, we are looking at the government and its role in the voter registration and also terrorism, because these are two things that are very important in the society today. Mr. Aristotle, you're welcome.
Good afternoon from everywhere you are watching us.
Okay, let's start with the Ondo State mayhem. We heard that the perpetrators of the crime has been caught. Is it they were caught or apprehended by the police? Or let me get your take on that.
Yeah, I think what happened in Owo yesterday is a testimony of the fact that some things still exist above the ordinary, beyond the ordinary. And I think yesterday on the program I was telling you about the efficacy of African science and how government did not, court of law, police did not recognize that there is African science, but that it exists, because when something of that nature happens, it shows itself. And I think that was what panned out yesterday.
Are you saying the police is not there was no effort? There was no effort.
No, they did not recognize African science. I'm going somewhere.
Okay.
You understand? I'm going somewhere. Court did not recognize African science, but there is African science. Because what happened yesterday is purely African science that you call juju, we call it voodoo. The Igbo people call it voodoo. What happened in Owo was a testimony of that fact, because after the death of those people, after the murder of the people at that St. Francis Church that led to the killing of more than almost 60 people or thereabouts, the women in the community, the old women in the community, they came out and they performed a kind of ritual. They moved around the town, came out, performed a kind of ritual, went to the church and looked for footprints, pick sands as to where those people, the perpetrators, marched through, and they pray on it, whether it's called prayer or whatever they do on it, with a caveat and belief that the perpetrators will be brought to book, not by the court of law, not by the police, but by the actions they performed, which went unnoticed. The day they did it, that was about 5 days ago. It went unnoticed until yesterday. In fact, when I first saw the news, you have to properly scrutinize whichever information you have on social media, because most of the videos at times you realize that there are videos that has just a relativity of what they are showing, but there are events that are not connected with that. So I try to properly scrutinize, put a call through to people I know in Ondo State, particularly.
Okay, you had to confirm from.
Yes, I have to confirm from other sources, and I requested from a video from somebody in Owo there, you understand, who was there, and he recounted, according to him, that these perpetrators, these Fulani herdsmen, because it was confirmed that they were Fulani herdsmen.
They say ISWAP. ISWAP.
ISWAP.
Not Fulani herdsmen. ISWAP.
ISWAP. They are Fulanis now. ISWAP is Islamic State for West Africa and province that they call themselves, but they are predominantly.
Okay, I will agree with the word predominantly.
They are predominantly Fulanis. What we heard was that from the bushes they started walking out one after the other, and they followed themselves, and they walked into the town, and before you know it, people of the town, they surrounded them. They intended giving them jungle justice, but at least sensibilities prevailed, morality prevailed. They were taken to the palace, where the palace handed them over to the military with the aid of Amotekun. And I learned they've been transported. The
action of the women of the indigenes brought back.
Yes, that is what
arrested the terrorists.
See, it was not the action of Nigeria police or security agency, or whether they have any pre-knowledge information as to their whereabouts, or whether they call on them to come. They came out of themselves, by themselves, with their legs. They walked out and confessed their sins, and that was predominantly based on the actions of the women, which we termed Africa science, because it cannot happen ordinarily. You cannot see this is a Yoruba land associated with some kind of those things, though it is going into extinction, and the modernization is making us to believe that those things no longer exist. But we still have houses in Yoruba land where they will hang a broom, and they believe that if a thief comes into that house, walks into the compound, he will pick the broom and he will sweep.
That means you're a traditional man.
I'm not a traditional man, I'm a Yoruba man, and I am learned. See, we are always missing some things. We are always trying to believe that because we are living in a modern era, you should now not know the knowledge of your forefathers, the things that had happened in the past. And that is what is killing us in Africa here, because we no longer let our children and grandchildren knows what transpires in our fatherland. We did not port here. People have been living here. We had grandfathers, and they have things they've been doing. They have things they've been worshipping. They have things they believe in prior to the Christianity and Islam that has taken over.
Who are you going to give credit to?
The credit goes to the women. The credit goes to the community.
Not the government.
Which government? Government did not play any role. Government is now helping us to keep them, and the fear of the people now is that now they've been handed over to government. Government may not do adequate justice to them, may not bring them to book adequately, but be that as it may, what is sacrosanct and what has been established is the fact that the perpetrators came themselves from the bush and came outside and confessed their sins, and they've been handed over. So the credit goes to the community, credit goes to the women, and credit goes to the traditionalists in that community.
I know many are saying that they are afraid that if the government handle this their way, they will not get justice as they want or expect.
People are already afraid that even the ones that are, the ones that are already in the custody of government people may not get justice. And what people are thinking of is that the death is too enormous, almost 60 people, and you can see how painful it is to the families of the bereaved. And what they would have wanted is burn them alive, give them jungle justice. That yesterday, but we live in a modern era, and I want to appreciate the community for not taking.
No matter what we do, at least we must give kudos to the government.
To the government for
at least
for helping us to keep them.
Because they are the last resort.
Jews, they did not play any role here. You cannot give kudos to who did not play any role. Now you give kudos to who played the role. So 100% kudos to the community.
If it were left for you, what will you decide? Should jungle justice be meted on?
I don't believe in jungle justice.
Okay.
Equally. I don't believe in jungle justice, and that's why I said I appreciate.
From your heart of hearts.
From my heart of heart, I don't believe in jungle justice. I don't think that any offense is worth killing one another. Though what they themselves did was killing, the act of killing. But because somebody is killing, like somebody like me, I used to tell people, no matter how comradic, how trained I am as a comrade, as anything, I have never in my life used anything to
the kingdom of heaven suffered violence.
Take blood from people. I cannot. I will run away. The kingdom of God suffered violence, and the violence overcome it by force is what is panning out in our politicking. Now, it's not that we should be killing ourselves. Our politics is the violence, because you have to be violently oriented now in order to get anything in Nigeria. It can be transmitted into that, but not to the fact that somebody eats you now with a knife or choke you with a knife, and you now believe that I don't believe in eye for an eye. Let's just put it that.
Okay, there's a breaking news. The Ondo State High Court in Akure today sentenced 3 persons to death for killing Mrs. Funke Olakunrin, the daughter of the Afenifere leader, Chief Ruben Fasoranti. The deceased was killed by the convict along the Benin-Ore Shagamu Expressway in the Ore-Ojigbo local government area of the state in June 2019 on our way to Lagos State. The convicts are Awalu Abubakar, Mohammed Shehu, and Adamu. Justice Williams Olamide found the trial guilty of involving in murder, kidnapping, and armed robbery, and sentenced them to death. You see why I said the government, at least give kudos to the government.
That is a different case, and this case you are talking about is even long overdue. This case happened in 2019.
No matter how slow
ordinarily judgment ought to have been served out, but be that as it may, it is still served, and we have to commend the judicial system.
Yeah,
you understand, for at least living up to his billing, for giving them justice, and at least giving a bit of palliation to the family of the Fasoranti, because it is gruesome when it happened that time, and like you've rightly seen yourself, because each time I talk and I try to monitor, to mention a particular tribe, you always want to be diplomatic and want to caution me. But the three names mentioned here, is there a Yoruba name there, or is there an Igbo name there? You are hearing Adamu, you are hearing
Awalu,
Abubakar,
Muhammad.
So you know that it is them, not them. And if they will be brought to justice like this, if justice will be served to them accordingly like this, I think it will reduce their activities, because if they know that they cannot go away scot-free with their activities, and that they will that justice will be meted out to them accordingly, then it may reduce the activity. But so far so good. Kudos to the judicial system for giving them justice.
This happened. This High Court is in Ondo State. Is it in any way connected to what just happened at the Catholic Church?
It is not connected. Now the
reaction of the government, the handling, because
the Ruben Fashion too is from Ondo State now. The granddaughter killed is from Ondo State, and the jurisdiction for the case is in Ondo State. So it was not moved forward. From what I learned, at least I've had cases. I've gone to court before as a comrade. I've gone to court. I know the process of court. Court processes has appearances in court. So they've been appearing subsequently, and the prosecutors have always been delaying, telling them that okay, we are still investigating some other things. But thank God the investigation has been concluded and justice has been served. So it is in no way connected to what happened in Owo. I believe it is just because that is the jurisdiction of the case itself, and that's where judgment has to take place, to take effect.
Okay, yes. So
it's not coincidental.
Once again, the convicts have been sentenced to death for killing Mrs. Funke Olakunrin, the daughter of the Afenifere leader, Chief Ruben Faso.
And please, let's be guided. It is the judgment is not to favor that, because the man is Ruben Fashion. Anybody killed, anybody that was murdered in cold blood like that deserves such kind of judgment, whether it's the daughter of Fashion or is the son of Muhammadu Buhari. You understand? So it is not connected. We are deodorizing and malodorizing the storyline by trying to always put at the end line that it is because it's the daughter of Ruben Fashion.
You know, fine. In 2019, this caused a problem within the Afenifere when they said, how will Fulani, it's time up for Fulani, they should drive him out of the community, and the governors were in loggerhead. So the reason why, Fashion is a popular person. So you need to itemize.
Yes, but the perpetrators of the act, the murderers, as at the time they murdered the girl, they did not know she's the daughter of Fashion. They were just carrying out their own random, drastically, you understand, unconventional activities, and unfortunately, the daughter of the man has to be part of it, which makes the case more popular, which makes the case more, you understand, which gave it a world attention. So I will not take that away from you, but it is in no way connected with the Owo massacre. Okay,
now I believe that there's a African what do you call it?
You not believe before?
African science.
You not believe before?
Because when I saw those women, they were doing that stuff, I was saying,
so make you and somebody get issue, make you still say the person is hand for pocket. You better start to the run.
Even there was a gathering in the palace of the Owo.
Yes,
there was a before that.
Okay.
There was a traditional meeting,
yeah.
And I saw that these people were taking this thing serious.
Yes, now they have to. Because like I told you, you were telling me that government investigation is ongoing, government is working on that ground. They don't want.
Am I lying?
I've not said you've lied, but
so the way I say, I'm telling you, as if they're not investigating.
Have we seen the result of what government has?
They are in the custody of.
Okay. Government will now start investigating them, because now they are in the
investigation. There are various stages of investigation.
Yeah, okay, now they are in custody, so investigation will now be fast.
What do you expect? What do you expect from the government now that they are in custody?
They have to charge them to court, and they should be given the appropriate judgment. Simple. They killed a lot of number of people without any reasons. There is no justification. Just to
is there any justification to even kill, take life?
No, there is none. But just to prove that there is one eye swap, a terrorist janjaweed arrangement, some set of elements that did not have future somewhere, killing people. They should be killed too. Now
my question is how did they from the down north, how could they find their way to Ondo State?
They not only Ondo State, they found their way into the southwest. It is a gradual incursion. They've been, you understand, they've been tactically entering the Yoruba land through this their cow rearing, this cow breeding of a thing. They've been doing that, and that was what led primarily, majorly into Amotekun, which is why kudos should be given to Governor Akeredolu of Ondo State, because he was the one that took the bull by the horn, that made sure that these Amotekun people tried to chase them back. Because if you allow these people, they will always tell you that Fulanis, they don't have homes, that anywhere they see, they just amalgamate there, and from there they migrate. And if you see their migration, at least I reside in Abuja, I've seen 1 or 2 cases where they are migrating with their family. You know that these people,
they are nomadic in nature.
They are nomadic in nature. So and that is why it is difficult to track them down. It is difficult to apprehend them. Whenever they perpetrated evil, they will move. But thank God that despite the fact that they move, our scientists from the African origin were able to recall them back. Our scientists of African origin were able to recall them back.
You're a traditional man.
You said I'm a traditional man. Are you a white man?
I need to. Are
you a white man? I'm a Nigerian and I'm a Christian.
I need to go and study the science that you are studying.
Okay, I will introduce the course to you.
Okay, let's look at let's know our leaders this morning. Afternoon. We are in Nigeria.
Yeah.
For AAC, we have Omoyele Sowore. ADC Dumebi Kachuku, that is the publisher of the Roots TV. ADP Yabaji Sani. AP Professor Christopher Imumolen. APC Bola Tinubu. ABGA Peter Umiadi. BP Sunday Adenuga, Labour Party Peter Obi. NNPP Rabiu Kwankwaso. NRM Okudili Nwa Anyajike. PDP Atiku, PRP Abiola, Kola Abiola, Adewale Adebayo SDP, Malik Ado Ibrahim YPP, Dan Wanyangu ZLP. Who are your top 5?
Thank you very much. In fact, I love you said top 5, because this is a country where majority of those names you've mentioned, people at home, they are just familiar with just about 2 or 3 of them. But it's good for democracy, because you have to give people room to contest, you understand, and people have been contesting. I think from this list, the ones you can pick out, they are simple. The top 5 here, you have Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, you have the Jagaban Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC. They are the two to beat. And the third one in the list, you have Peter Obi of the Labour Party, you have Rabiu Kwankwaso of the NNPP, and if you allow me to make it top 7,
okay,
let me make it top 7, because at least I've given you 5 already.
No, you have 3.
I've given 4 already. 4. I've given Atiku, Tinubu, Peter Obi, and Kwankwaso. Now you have a serial candidate that will always come out and that will always make the polity heated up, and that will always bring other dimensions to it, but that will not go anywhere.
No, don't say will not go. We don't know. Okay,
maybe this time around, the marine spirit that he went to campaign for inside the water.
Maybe you believe in African science.
Maybe they will vote for him. So you have
Omoyele. They can use African science.
You have Omoyele Sowore of the AAC. That's the publisher of Sahara Reporter. Then you have this guy. People are not aware of this guy, but I know that they don't respect intellectualism in this country. Had it been it is respected, I think he should be the most qualified, but people don't even know him. He's a 39 years old professor, and he lives abroad, and he's coming. I even was listening to him yesterday on, I think on on TVC, and he was so vibrant, so vast, so virile, so theoretical, analytical, but whether that can transform to vote is what I don't know. I mean, Professor Christopher Inumole of AP. He is a very strong and vibrant comrade, and I hope and think maybe, like he said, I am happy that this is the first time in the history of the country where you have at least a long period of time to assess the candidates before the general election. So I think they have between 8 to 9 months for us to assess them. So probably from next week, they will be rolling out activities, they will be rolling out events to sell themselves. Last but not the least, I think we have it remains two. We have the son of the winner of the freest and fairest election in the history of this country, the first son of Chief MK Abiola. People are not even aware that he's contesting. That is Kola Abiola. They are not aware that he's contesting because he's contesting.
People Redemption Party.
He's contesting from a northern-based party, PRP, People Redemption Party. PRP is associated to the Malam Aminu Kano northern oligarchy. So he's coming from the north, but he's contesting because he's going to be on the ballot. And the last on the list is the most controversial of them all, the most lively of them all. And he will always contest, he will always have his own pocket of vote, but I love his spirit that he's always bringing vibrancy. That is the candidate of the Zenith Labour Party, Barrister Dan Nwayawu. So you have Labour Party. He has been consistent. He has structure more than apart from the first two. He has more structures than others. Even don't forget. Don't forget Peter Umiadi. Abga is just in Imo. So Peter Umiadi is not even in the list. So,
Abga is in the north. Abga is in the north.
Abga, what did they win in the north?
No, as in they have base in the north.
You have
Igbo people in the north.
Have they won any election in the north?
People in the north.
Did they win any electoral position in the north?
I'm not talking about winning. They have structure at least.
I agree with you.
PDP have structure in Lagos. Have they won in Lagos?
Even all of them have mushroom structures.
Okay.
But the three most formidable, I think we've highlighted them yesterday. The three most formidable, Atiku, Tinubu, and Peter Obi. Then followed by Kwankwaso, the Nwayawu, the Showore. I think Nigerians have I think there are about 15 now that we can choose for. I'm just surprised and disturbed that we don't even have a single lady coming out from any of the parties.
The single lady is not the one that stepped down
for it has in PDP now. I mean, in these mushroom parties, this one at least ladies, I mean the women in Nigeria politics ought to have grown to the extent of at least having colonizing at least one party of their own that they will know. I think I'm just advising them to do that. They should have at least a party of their own that will be centered on women, and that will, like, one lady is contesting from Ekiti State for governor, and I was surprised when I watched their town hall this thing yesterday where the aspirants were brought together, and I was so surprised that this lady, it is the first time I'm hearing it. She said as a contesting for governor, she bought forms for everybody contesting for councillor with her money, everybody contesting for chairman with her money, everybody contesting for House of Reps with her money, everybody contesting for Federal House of Representatives and Senate with her money. So already she's building a structure for herself. Out of those, that is what you call investing in human capital development. Out of all those people, at least she may have a councillor.
Okay.
Or at least an House of Rep members, and that is why we are saying that 2023 may not be as you wish it, because like this NNPP of 18, this Kwankwaso party, even if Kwankwaso did not win the president, Kwankwaso, I can tell you that Kwankwasia movement, I know how strong the Kwankwasia movement is in the north. And I can assure you.
You can assure me?
Yes, I can assure you, because Kwankwasia is
like a court. There is an incumbent.
Yes, it's like a court.
Ganduje is an incumbent governor.
I know, but I'm just telling you that Kwankwasia movement is like a court group. You understand? It has a very large political followership in the north, and with that, the NNMP can have like 2-3 House of Assemblies in Kano, in Jigawa, Kebbi. They can have councillor, they can even have House of Reps, and that is why I said it will not be a smooth sail for PDP and APC. But thank God that we still have other people that will challenge them, and we have months, like I said, for them to show themselves, sell themselves, malodorize themselves to the world. And who knows, 8 months is a long time. Who knows what God can do? God is God, and we don't know what can happen between now and 8 months, anything can happen to any of them, which may change the face of the pendulum.
Let's look at getting your PVC. Nigerians are more aware now that they need to get their PVC in order to be enfranchised to vote in the 2023 elections. We can see the crowd, you can see the anticipation, we can see the empathy. We used to have voter apathy, but now we are seeing how people are more interested in getting themselves involved in the process of electing who their leaders are. Perhaps there are some challenges faced by some Nigerians. I don't know if you can highlight any of the challenges.
The process is too cumbersome. The process is cumbersome, and government is making life difficult for people to register. Government is the one telling people to go and register. Don't forget that the consciousness of the people has risen beyond before, and more people are now aware that at least they need this as a weapon. You understand? But the fact remains that the way the government, I am expecting the government to make this thing less cumbersome for people. Now that you have excuse me, you have more polling units now, so you expect more voters turnout, you expect more voters confidence. And like Peter Obi rightly said yesterday, the candidate of the Labour Party, he is calling on INEC to extend the date for the voters registration, because you can see that people are frustrated. People will go to vote to queue. I remembered when we were doing it that time in 2019. Do you know, in Abuja, do you know that we used to wake up by 4:30 a.m. Some of us that are males that have done it, that still want others to do it. About 10 or 15 of us, we have a gang then. We will wake up by 4:35. We will go to that place and go and stand and take number to just allow the real people that wants to come and do it to wake up by 7, 8, and they will come and meet us there. We will now give them space to do it because they cannot wake at that time. And I'm talking of 2019 now. And you are saying people should go and get their voters card, people should go and this, but you did not make enough logistics and you did not create an enabling environment for them. As you can hear, even here in Lagos, you understand, it is becoming more worrisome. We heard of cases where people are frustrated as regards. In fact, I heard yesterday that the Alaba people, the Alaba market people, they've insisted now that probably from next week, I think they are closing down
tomorrow
the Alaba, so that all of them should go and get their PVCs. And they said by the time they are reopening the shops, if you have a shop there or a store or a park anywhere, show your PVC. You must be able to show your PVC as a Nigerian that is eligible, that is 18 years and above. You must contribute, you must participate in the making of it. Excuse me. It is no longer in fashion that our voters do not count. Now we want to make our votes count by ourselves, and if we want to make it count, then we must have more people that will register. And we are using the medium now to call on government. Let government prevail on INEC. Election election is still next year. You can
at least they extended the
NIN. They extended the dates for primaries. They extended the date for submission. They can equally extend the date for
the
interest of the general populace of the people, like they do the
now that people want to come out.
Yes,
they should help and extend this.
Even people are suggesting that this e-registration of a thing should be made simpler. I think
the way they did NIN,
they should be
agents all over.
Yes, they should make it simpler. They should let it be everywhere. Government has facilities and logistics to ensure that, and there is still time on our side. Like I said, we still have between 8 and 9 months to election. Nothing stops us from running the collection of PVCs to at least 3 weeks or 1 month to election. By that time, at least we know. Though government is still saying that some people have already done, but they've not collected their PVCs that are ready, and millions of PVCs.
There are complaints that
are outside.
Like the video you are watching now is in first. Like there are complaints that you see a whole full center. There is no machine.
There is no machine now. As you can see people here. These are people that wants to register. They've been here since morning, but there is nobody to register them. There is no manpower. There is no machine, and this is the government telling people go and do this. It's just like you are beating a child and you say he should not cry. So government is not doing enough.
People leave their businesses.
government should look at these people now. See woman with a child, backing a child, and these people left their business, left what they are doing just to be part of it. But like I've always said, our government is good at paying lip service, and we are paper tigerists in this country. If you have put anything in paper in this country, you've said it, you've made a pronouncement, it ends there. And that's why the NIN of a thing is still continuous. It's continuous because despite the fact that they said they blocked some people line, they still now created an avenue for you, a back door for you to reopen. So equally the PVC thing should be done in that way. They should not close the registration because people are interested.
Are they afraid that people will vote out because it seems there's a conspiracy here trying to discourage people from getting their PVC?
You know, they already know how many votes is coming from southwest, how many votes is coming from south, how many votes is coming from northwest, northeast. As in these permutators and these real politicians, these cabals, they know, and they are working towards their own curriculum and their own paperwork. Permutation. So probably they are afraid of an influx, because if those numbers are now doubled, they may not be able to control the vote buy process. You know, we said it because there is no how they will still do vote buy. They will still, you understand? So now they want to know, like each community, each constituent, how many people are registered voters, how many people have their PVCs, you understand? So that we will disabuse the process of overvoting. Because this is the only country where you will say 500, you have 500 registered voters at this polling unit, 300 people have their PVCs, but when they voted, you will see that 830 people vote. I don't know.
That is African science.
I don't know whether we used to, some spirits used to come
out. It's like when you put Gary inside water, it swell up.
It swell up. So you now have spirits and ghosts voting. So in order to disabuse spirit and ghosts from voting,
no, the electoral law is there. The electronic voting will take care of those ghost voters. Yes.
How can the electronic discover a ghost? How do you know? Do we have machines that can discover ghosts?
They have the register.
Even the Oyibos, the whites that are you aware that there is something we call UFOs, unidentified flying objects? Do you know the whites are they are afraid? They just something shoo. And despite all their technological advancement, they have been unable to track them down. Even CCTV cameras cannot track them down.
The last election, Trump complained about
UFOs, unidentified
despite the fact that
flying object. That's things you cannot see, but you know is existing. So let us disabuse ghosts from voting in 2023. So let government create an enabling environment for people to participate in the protest and in the process and collect. And I think like the NIN, though the NIN has covered that, I am still, this is a country where we duplicate things. I see no reason where all the
PVC you can connect the NIN to your PVC.
That's what I'm trying to say. I don't see the reason why we cannot connect the two. Everybody has NIN, everybody has telephone number. During COVID-19, despite the fact that they tell you that they are sharing palliatives, and palliatives did not reach everybody, did not even reach 1/4 of the people. Are you aware that every day you receive text messages from NDDC telling you to keep safe, to wash your hand, use face mask? In this same process of, if they know, if they have everybody phone numbers and they can send messages to everybody every day, can't they know how to reach all of us when they want to reach us? And we do a uniform arrangement. But because of chauvinism, because of nepotism, because of fraud, because of trickery, because of whims and caprices, they will not allow all these things to be functional, so that they will capitalize on the nuances in order to perpetrate their injustice and fraud.
Okay, from what everyone, one of these contestants, presidential aspirants, who do you think will really bring Nigeria out of this mess?
The mess we are in it together. All we need to see, my problem is already our mindset. That's why I said out of these 15 aspirants that have emerged from 15 parties, we only know about 3 or 4 of them. And I think our mind is stereotyped psychologically as to those 3. And we are now even divided along ethnic and religious line as regards the 3. Because the Peter Obi now, as good as as qualified, credible, and competent as he is, some Yorubas and Hausa will say because he's an Igbo man, we will not vote for him. Likewise, the other two. Some people are hell-bent. Even at your roadside newspaper review this morning, I stylishly withdrew there because I don't want some Igbo boys to beat me, because they are hell-bent on they will never vote for Tinubu because Yorubas have betrayed them. All sort of thinking and nuances like that you don't encourage. So bringing us out of the mess, only God will direct Nigeria as to who will rule Nigeria in 2023.
Okay, there's this thing I noticed. We have seen regionalism in this. We have Atiku for the north, we have Itobi for the south, we have Asiwaju for the west. Don't you think that we can still manage our regions through this?
Yes, I even posted it on my page yesterday because I saw that thing flying and it made sense. Only that it is going to be difficult because currently we are running a democratic form of government, and that's what you are suggesting can only work out in a parliamentary system of government. And for us to go back to a parliamentary system of government, we have to go back constitutionally. There are so many constitutional processes to go through to change this to that. And if we have to go through, I said the response I received from people is so affirmative that okay, since we have the three basic of them, let us say okay, Tinubu rule the southwest as the regional head. Atiku rule the whole north, we give you the whole north. Obi rule the southern and give them a time frame. Probably say 4 years.
8 years.
8 years. Okay, in 8 years, let us all come back together and see the level of development. How has the west developed? How has the north developed? How has the east developed? Then we'll now see whether we'll continue the process of regionalism or we'll come back to democratic system of government. But I think these are just fantasies. These are just things, these are just imaginations, because the process of making it work, it cannot even happen in a year, and the election we are thinking of is in a year time. And some people are already questioning the credibility of the three you are mentioning on the same topic.
Credibility.
That okay, why must it be Tinubu for Yoruba? If that is what you want to say, that okay, let us have regional heads, then we can pick other people now. Why must it be Atiku from the north, and why must it be Obi from, you understand? So people will always have reasons to puncture any argument that is developmental in nature and affirmative in nature. But as good as the idea is, it cannot fly. Because
Nigerians are yearning for a referendum and also a regional system, because they believe that the system is so bad that there's nobody that can put it together.
It will work if we want to make it work, but it cannot work because the people up there will
those
not
that are
want
clamoring for Yoruba nation and Biafra,
they can only clamor.
Where will you put them?
They can only clamor. The clamor will end at the gate of the National Assembly, and the National Assembly will send the deputy senate president or the deputy speaker to come and address them and tell them that they should go. We will look into it, and we'll continue wasting time till election approaches. So let us forget about this. It is a fantasy. It is a good idea.
Fantasy? People have died for this cause.
It is a fantasy. It is a fantasy that we want to regionalize now. That is what I'm saying. That we want to regionalize now. That Atiku should rule now. Tinubu should. It is a fantasy. Though people, is a brilliant idea, but how to go about it? The logistics. How to? You understand the system? You have to go to the Senate. You have to pass do a referendum. You have to change our polity entirely from democratic system of government to a parliamentary system of government in order to make it work. You cannot practice regionalism in a democratic system.
Yeah, they need to dismantle the system.
You have to dismantle democracy, dismantle House of Assembly, dismantle Senate, dismantle executive form of government.
Which look impossible because of those in charge and the largesse they get from the.
If you ask me, who you want make I go ask me?
Okay, I've been looking for the activists. Our activists, no one is speaking at this point in time. Now Nigeria is experiencing a lot. We are not seeing them. What do you think has happened? Have they gone?
The lowest rung of activism, that is the most active part of activism used to be the student activists. That's the National Association of Nigerian Students. I think they've been commercialized. They've become paper tigerists now. They've been induced. They've been induced because ASU has been on strike for months and they've been unable to do anything. They've just been shouting on the pages of papers. In fact, they threatened, the president of NANS threatened last month that Nigerian students will not allow the primaries to hold in Abuja, that they will stampede Abuja, they will stampede the roads, they will do this, they will do that. But nothing is happening because behind the closed door, they've been settled. They've been told, keep quiet.
Were you there?
It is the system now. I have been an activist all my life. All my life, I am still an activist as I'm talking to you. In fact, what brought me into investigative journalism is the activism in me. But I am disappointed. That's why I told you that I am Showore's friend. Only that I don't believe in his. Showore is my friend. After this program, I'll show you pictures we took together, even as at last year. I have his number, so I can call you. But like, to answer your question, activism is dead in Nigeria. Capitalism has taken over the order of the day, and nobody wants to die any longer. Everybody now needs money. Everybody is looking for fast ways of making money, and everybody believes that why do you need to be an activist? Why do you need to shout? Why do you need to go and die when some persons, you understand, are enjoying? So people are no longer, and perhaps virtually all the activists in the country have become politicians, the likes of the Tunde Bakare, Wole Soyinka, the Buhari himself. They were the people that let people out to chase good luck out of government, to complain.
Even Showore is a politician.
Showore is, you understand? Showore too has turned to a politician. He's no longer, he cannot reason as an activist any longer. So, and you cannot do the two and expect, you got to be an activist, you understand? You have to be blunt, you have to be straightforward. But to be a politician, you have to bend, you have to mend, you have to convince, you have to coerce, you have to lobby. And activism has nothing to do with all those, and that's why activism is dead in the country today, because everybody that are supposed to be activists, that are proletariats in training, in ideology, when in school, they've now become bourgeoisie, because we are running a direct capitalist form of government where money answers all.
Okay, my last question.
Not advocacy again, not agitation again.
Okay, before I ask my last question, thank you very much, Mr. Levi Nati Timothy Ogunide, for commenting. Please like our video, like the program, like the live feed here this morning. My last question to Mr. Aristotle is that, does vote count?
It doesn't count before, but we want to start making it count now. Before, I think that the times our votes count may be probably that First Republic, 1979 to 1983, and the last time will be that 1993, the MK Abiola election. I think from that time till now, our votes have always been directed by the bourgeois, by the godfathers, by the political bigwigs who claims us as their vote. You can imagine, with the electioneering in Nigeria is like football. Somebody that is an Arsenal fan that has not eaten today, or that is a Chelsea fan, he will say, I just bought Lukaku for 19 million now. Now me buy Maguire for 80,000, and he never eat. Oh, that is politicking too in Nigeria. A politician will say, the whole of Oye local government and Ifaki is mine. It is whoever I tell them to, and they have machineries to make it work too, because by the time you go into election too, you discover that the votes there favored them, and that is why it is always news when you hear that Osinbajo lost his polling unit, because it is expected that the polling unit where Osinbajo votes, Osinbajo party must win there, because that means is it the Osinbajo that is feeding everybody in that community? Is it their father? Even in the same household, you can have the husband in PDP and the wife doing APC, but that cannot happen in Nigeria. I will be PDP, my wife will now be APC. I'm not going to give her money for food.
No.
That is what is happening in Nigeria. I'm not saying it's me alone. It is practical. Which one be no. So you now tell me that your son will be running contrary.
Just like if you support Arsenal, I might support Man U.
Football is different from politics. That's where I'm going. Even in the football too, even in the football too. In fact, we take our politicking down to the football level. The husband is Chelsea, the wife is Arsenal. You understand? And the two kids are Chelsea. The day when Chelsea win, the wife can deliberately decide not to cook or form sickness, or the husband can buy gifts home for the children because they are Chelsea and will not buy for the wife because she's Arsenal. So
you can buy soya for the children to eat together
they will
to celebrate their victory.
To celebrate their victory. The wife will now be elsewhere. You understand? Watching. So that is how our politics pans out literally. He who pays the piper dictates the tune. That's what we are doing in Nigeria. So our votes don't count then, but we pray and hope that if
with the electoral law,
with the electoral reform, with this new what do you call it, electronic means of voting, and with the new urge the Nigerians are having
empathy
to elect their leaders themselves, let us see what pans out starting from June 18, the Ekiti election. The Ekiti election promises to be very, very interesting. The outgoing government is the APC is ruling the state, and the government is trying to bring in the chief of staff to the governor. You understand? As usual, to impose on the people. But you have two strong candidates. The PDP candidate has done everything in that state, from councillor to local government chairman to commissioner to party chairman. So he knows the rudiment and he knows the people. Why the SDP is bringing out a former governor that has ruled the state before, but that because he was not tough that time, he was meek that time, like good luck, they pushed him out. Now I think he has sharpened his teeth. So he's going to be, the concentration of the world will be on Ekiti, and we are going to see whether the government will use its machinery to manipulate the electoral process there, like they did in Osun. We are expecting, I think it's going to be a test run to 2023. There will be 2 elections this year, Ekiti and one other state. But starting from Ekiti, we want to see the sincerity of the government, because from there, how manipulative it is, how they can manipulate it, and I think the electronic voting starts from the election in Ekiti. So let's see. If Ekiti is not manipulated, then we have hope. If Ekiti is manipulated and rigged, like we all used to know, and we are not surprised, then 2023 is in danger. But whether the vote will count or not, let us go and get our
yes. We are.
Let us go and get.
We are coming to the end of the program, Pundits on Flip TV. Thank you for being part of the program. We can see that former governors that are going to end their tenures, they are taking the either senatorial ticket, or we have Umahi. Umahi has won the Ebonyi South senatorial ticket days after Akpabio defeat. Even Akpabio, they are returning to the.
I told you now, most of them, they are just fooling us, thinking. You know, who said it? Bob Marley said, "You can fool some of the people all of the time, and all of the people some of the time. But you cannot fool all of the people all of the time." These people have been fooling us. Umahi bought presidential ticket, took Senate ticket. Lawan, that they said is consensus, bought presidential and senatorial. Akpabio, that stepped down for Tinubu, bought senatorial ticket, and they are now returning back to Senate.
Even Ojus Okalu.
So you can know that there is no sincerity. Ojus Okalu too has returned back to Senate. There is no sincerity of purpose, because the leaders, they don't want to live there, and that's why when they say we are future leaders, when is the future? When they have refused to exit the stage as of today, when is tomorrow? I am, do you know my age now? I'm almost 5 decades, but if I want to contest for councillor now, they will say I should go and queue, that somebody has been contesting since. And that is why it may be difficult for that professor, 39 years old professor Irumole, Abi Irumole, even if it is Irumole, let him even be Irumole. He cannot use the name to threaten anybody. You understand? Because because they will tell him that they will tell him, say, your mate they never even still contest for councillor. So
okay, at that we are coming to the close
well
of the program, Pundits on Flip TV. Thank you for being part of the program. We are going to be holding the program next week Monday, and keep a date with us. Thank you very much, Mr. Israel.
Always a player.
Okay, Christian Chico, bye for now. Thanks for watching.